All right, I'll try to do 5 minutes. Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Good evening.
I can hear you, pal. It's time to wake up a little bit. I mean, y'all a little quiet out there. All right, I'll try to keep it to 5 minutes. First of all, I'm kind of amazed at this Justice Side podium that we're going to stand behind tonight. But I'm actually more amazed at that healthcare bill, the Obamacare bill sitting in front of this podium. I'm going to tell you a quick little story about the Obamacare bill. I have a very good friend on the Hill in Washington who passed the bill. So he had the responsibility to pass the bill on that bill. It was a Saturday evening, around actually 8:40, 8:45 p.m. that night, when his office first received the email version of this bill. That was Saturday evening. 22 hours later, they were obligated to vote on that bill. 22 hours. Not just he didn't even sleep. 22 hours. I don't know about you, but how can someone represent us, the people, in 22 hours and over 2,600 pages? It's not possible. Now, you're looking at somebody who's kind of a freak of nature. I don't know why Tracy didn't have she to sleep. By the way, that's my beautiful wife over there in the dress. We drove up from Palm Beach to meet you all tonight. Cranked up from Josh Groban and headed up here, and we have a lot of laughs with him. And but seriously, we drove up here because it's really important to kind of share with you a lot of what I do. What I do is I'm a researcher. I've been the freak of nature. I've read that bill. I'm one of the people who read the bill. When you take out all the disclaimers and all the fluff and all the titles and all the BS, to be honest with you, you can actually get to it. You can look at a lot of things in there. One thing is being a small business owner. One of the biggest things that they're preaching is this small business tax credit. If you are offering health insurance, well, if you look on the surface and say, well, that sounds great. Small business tax credit, up to 50% of my employer contribution, I get back a tax credit. Fantastic. So that's how you sell something. My professional career, I'm a sales guy, I'm a sales director, a sales manager, a trainer for many, many years. It's easy to sell something. It's just like it is on TV, just like it is in Washington. But when you actually open it up and look behind the cover, you take the time to actually read what's in the legislation itself, you start seeing things like the small business tax credit. This credit, you only qualify for if A, you're under 25 employees, or 25 or under. So if you're 26, you don't get it. The other catch is you have to average $25,000 a year, the average wage across the company board. So if you, the business owner, maybe some of the managers make 35, 40, it still isn't really that much. Well, that just lowers the wages that you need to hold your other employees at, so you end up at $25,000. That leaves you at minimum wage. So basically what they're saying is, you will get this small business tax credit, which sounds so great, sign here, sign dotted line, but you're only going to get it if you pay all your employees minimum wage, or maybe pay a couple of your managers 35, 40 grand a year. That's it. And you can't grow your company. As soon as you decide to grow your business and produce more products and services, and actually go out there and say, hey, I want to hire some people. I can't do it. I can't hire anybody because I'm going to lose this tax credit. So you start looking at these things, start realizing, this doesn't sound too great anymore. Does it sound too wonderful? Now, I actually came up here tonight not to talk about this healthcare bill, but after seeing it tonight, the first time I've seen it in person, I had to say something about that. I really wanted to talk tonight, which I'll really talk about for 30 seconds now, is really about standing for something. It's so important these days to stand for something. Now, as I say this, I'm not running for office. I did in the past. I got my feet wet in the pool. I rubbed elbows with party chair people. I had to lunch at the cross with some big name people. You know, I've built some good friendships along the way. But I've seen the ugliness on both sides of the aisle. I've realized that these monster parties, both of them, are playing the game. Are playing the special interest, PAC money game, large donors. How much can you do for me? How much will I give you back? That monster bill right there, half. The backroom deal, special favors, thank you for getting me elected and keeping me in office favors. Right? What started out as earmarked years ago, which still exists today, I started just blatant backroom deals, blatant favors being returned. They're just doing it right in front of us, and no one's doing nothing about it. Well, recently, a lot of people have started doing something about it. We, the people, decided to stand up to do things like this. We, the people, decided to start doing tea parties. And you know what? Though I don't agree with how they protest, let's be honest, these Wall Street protesters and stuff like that, they still have a good right. Big business is just as much to blame for a lot of this corruption. You know, these tax and these special interest favors, they're being returned to a business, to a corporation, to companies who pay zero taxes. One more real quick thing. We saw this video, watching this video, you noticed it says $1.3 trillion is what we're upside down on. Well, one other thing I spend a lot of time doing is I break down what's called program assessment. I look at, well, up until 2007, full year 2007, we actually had every year, in March of the following year, we actually get what's called Program Assessment Rating Tool, PART, PART for short. The PART program literally took every program and adjusted on its performance for that prior year. They said, all right, ABC company or ABC program, we gave you $125 million based on what you told us in your mission statement, what you're going to achieve. They judge them on their performance, what they return. I mean, it's a simple idea. I mean, it's a smart idea. Let's assess them and see how well they did. Well, in 2007, now we're talking under GOP administration, so let's be fair here. In 2007, we had over $860 billion, with a B, $billion spent on programs that were not just failing. I'm talking returning 30% or less on what they promised us they were going to spend. Almost $200 billion of that $800+ billion was spent on programs that produced zero results. Zero. And these programs did it year after year after year after year. What I'm getting here, folks, is yeah, it's going to be kind of a hard thing to do, and a hard thing to swallow to say, look, there's a lot of things you got to cut. But there's some easy answers out there, and you can see in the PART program. Now, President Obama, who promised transparency, who ironically later got a transparency award for it, actually said, I'm going to put it on a website called expectmore.gov. Y'all go home tonight, type that in, expectmore.gov. Just about 6 months ago, they finally put a disclaimer on it. They said, oh, this is a Bush thing. Well, expectmore.gov was to simplify the PART program I'm talking about tonight, tells you how these programs grade and how well they do. Well, Obama never, to this day, has not released one assessment for one program since he's taken office. He promised transparency. He promised us the opportunity to watch things on C-SPAN and understand legislation. He promised us that, we would understand where our money goes and how well they're doing with it. Well, we don't know. He hasn't made it public. But again, Mr. Late Night till 3 in the morning researching guy over here with a wife sleeping on the couch next to me. You can go company by company, see these same companies are still in business. And the only thing we do know is Obama every year has increased spending by 13%. So if you take these same programs that was over $800 billion and multiply 13% by 13% by 13%, we're at $1.3 trillion on failing programs. And the last thing I'll say is these are programs that are only in place because they're shell companies. These programs say, I'm here to save the three-headed monkey, homeless, and whatever. Anything that makes it seem, like we need to go reach out and help people. Something great, noble cause. It's a great mission statement. But in reality, they might do one little charity that costs them $100 grand, but they're collecting $10 million. These are shell companies only in place because they help politicians on both sides of the aisle get elected and stay elected. You know what? It's time to put into it. It's time to stand up and stand up. Because, you know what, I don't know about you, well, I know about you all here, but I love my country. I love my beautiful wife. I love my son. It's time that we start holding all our politicians accountable on both sides of the aisle. I don't care what letters in front of their name. It's time to hold them accountable. Whoever we elect next, we hold them accountable too. And we make sure that they step forward, and stay true to their word and cut the deficit and cut the spending. God bless you all.